What's up, everybody? Another wonderful Monday night of Chewing the BBQ Fat. Hope you all had a great week. Hope you all, man, there's a lot going on in barbecue. I hope you got your name called if you were trying to get in the jack. We have a lot of teams going. Really excited for the people getting to go. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer we didn't make it, but you know what? It's all good. A lot of good, deserving people going. Going to have a great time. Just remember, go have a good time. You already won the hardest part. You already won. You got called. You got to go. Go enjoy it. Have a great time and just represent your state or your contest well. Um, Man, I'm so excited to see what's going on. Nicholas, how you doing, buddy? Really excited about tonight's talk. There's a lot going on. We got KCBS Invitational going on this weekend. We got a double up there in Virginia going on. Just a lot of cool things happening. But, like that page, share the page. Let's get this out there to as many people as we can. Subscribe to our YouTube page. I'd love to see you on there. Hopefully you're catching us on the Chewin the BBQ Fat Facebook page. If you're not on the Chewin the Fat baseball, wow, holy smoke. Chewin the Fat Facebook page. We would love for you to like that page also. Man, it's going to be a fun night if you can't tell. I've been drinking water, trying to get ready. It's going to be a good time. I got to go to Dallas first thing in the morning. Going to Texas, see if we can get some of that real barbecue, they say. It's going to be good. But anyway, looking forward to a good time tonight. Got one of my good buddies, one of our sponsor teams coming on tonight. Man, it's a heck of a story. I love hearing these kind of stories of what's going on and what people get to do and what they get to see. All of what we get to in barbecue. Yeah, Kyle. I feel like baseball is always on my mind. Even when I think baseball is over and there's not much going on, it gets started right back up. So, Mike, we're on new teams. I don't know if anybody saw. We've made a change. We're going to a new team this year. Kind of bittersweet, but it is what it is. But we get started this week, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Can't wait to get going. I just thought about that when I had that little slip up. I was like, man, baseball, here we go again. But you know what? I can't wait for barbecue. We're getting close. We're getting a week closer to the Royal, which you all know that I love. Well, I cannot wait for the Royal. You all got to come see us. Come see us at the Chewin the BBQ Fat compound. It's going to be a great time between me and Robert and Lex. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to try to do a live show. We've all talked about it. You've all heard about it. So make sure you're a part of it and let's have a good time. But anyway, what a week. Who all's going to the KCBS Invitational this week? Big contest. Should be exciting to see. I can't wait to watch it and see what's going on. But anyway, none of y'all are here to listen to me talk. I get it. I understand completely. Y'all are here for the guest. And we don't mess around. We get winners. We get whoever the most important person in barbecue is. We got them all. We do everything we can to bring them in. It was awesome. Last week we got to talk about the class. Talked to Paul today. He said that he's already had some people signed up that he believes came from the show. So thank you so much for being a part of that. Come signing up. If you haven't signed up, that class is going to fill up fast. I'm telling you, get signed up. I talked to Paul today. They're coming in like crazy. So you haven't signed up for Paul and Drew's class, Razor X and Rooters and Tutors, make sure you sign up. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, Joseph, you'll come on. You're going to come on for the inspiration. You are what inspires all of us. Joseph Puccio, great guy. If anybody watched Barbecue USA last week, the dude stole the show. I mean, it was awesome. SS Trio did a great job. And I tell you what, super proud of them. If you look close, you saw the Atlanta Barbecue Store Classic being showcased. If you look, you saw Atlanta Barbecue Store shirts being showcased. So thankful for all of you. Tonight, be on the lookout for Brady Boudin. He's going to be on. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see what's going on. Yeah, them South Carolina boys, man, they're fun to listen to. They're fun to watch. I tell you what, man, they really did a job with that mystery meat or anything goes or whatever that was. I would have loved to seen Joseph out there digging through all the oyster shells, just trying to find the perfect one, coming back, getting them cleaned up, ready to go. That was a sight to see, I'm sure. But anyway, let's get started. I tell you what, my man, Sid, I'm sorry, bud. I got to introduce you, and then I started talking about something else, man. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, Brian. Thanks for having me this evening.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you for coming on. Great guy, everybody. If you don't know Sid,
Thank you.
you need to know him. Go
Mhm.
googly goo. They're killing it out there. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into this weekend. Tell everybody a little bit about what's going on, who you are, where you're from, what you cook on, all those good details.
All right, let's see if we can get this thing going. Norris Sid Nor, everybody knows me as Sid. The team name, Good Googly Goo Barbecue, originated from Mitchellville, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C., in the suburbs of D.C. I recently, last year, also put some roots down in Baltimore, Maryland, also. So back and forth between those two areas. Good Googly Goo Barbecue, been competing since 2018. Started off slow. We've had some success over the years. What's that, about 5 years now? So we've made it to the Royal. We've made it to the Jack. Unfortunately, we won't be going back to the Jack this year. So we'll work for the future, and we'll get into that. But yeah, that's it. We've gotten calls at the Royal, and of course, a lot of people know we got a reserve grand championship at the Jack Daniels last year, and just out here grinding, trying to have fun at the same time while grinding. It's a work and play type thing.
It's a lot of fun. You and your wife, y'all go all over together. Y'all have a good time.
Yeah. That's one of the things. A lot of people know I got married last year at Pusaqu. That was at Montgomery, Alabama, and we're actually looking forward to going back there later this year. Even though they changed the date, so it won't be on our anniversary, which was which was May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We have a love for Mexican food, and we've been all over Mexico. So we decided to get married on Cinco de Mayo last year. So, but yeah, and we did it at Pusaqu, so at the contest. So we're looking forward to going back this year. For sentimental reasons, and just to have fun. It's good to see our friends in barbecue from all over. Are you guys going, Brian? Will you guys be? You'll
I'm
be at
going.
Pusaqu, right?
We're going to be cooking us Chewin the BBQ Fat. Robert and I are
Oh,
going to be
okay.
cooking that one together again. So we
Gotcha.
will be there. I can't wait. Great
Yeah.
contest. Great hospitality they put on. Do wonderful things, and it's one of those. Also, I mean, it's going to be. I mean, I'm going to the Royal, get to see all kind of people. Then we're going to Pusaqu. Looks like there's going to be a ton of people there. Um, and then I'm blessed enough to be able to, I didn't get my name called, but one of my good buddies is going to let me come cook with them. So
Oh,
we're going to go
awesome.
there with my man Robert and Lex, and be part of Smoke Me Silly. So it's going to be a lot of
They're
fun.
good folks. I loved both of them. They're good people.
They're salt of the earth people and just great people, kind of like you. I mean, that's what we love. That's what if you ever hear me talk about ABS sponsor teams, I feel like we've got the best sponsor teams, best people out there. Um, and it's just really cool. It's really cool to be a part of that and be a part of that ABS family. So we thank everybody. Thank you for all that y'all do. But everybody keeps talking about you being a Canadian now and all this Canada stuff and north of the border and what's all going on. Yeah. Wes, I've got to win that thing. Apparently, I have to win Pusaqu so we can pay all of these sponsors all this big money that you claim that we pay out. Uh, it's awesome. You got Wes Garrett out there, richest man in barbecue, and he's, it is that little stinker. I'll tell you what. But anyway, tell me about your weekend.
Yeah, it was a very interesting weekend, Brian. My wife and I, we decided to, well, like I said, one of the things that we're trying to do, we're trying to, not just stick to our Mid Atlantic area when we do competition. We kind of enjoyed you going to other parts of the country. Just it's just the experience of it all, being in different areas. We like exploring new towns, finding new restaurants. That's one of the things we do when we go to contests. We like to support the towns that we're visiting. Go out and eat and do a little shopping when we have a chance. So we decided we did a contest earlier this year in Connecticut, which was our first time cooking in the Northeast. And we're talking to some of the guys up there, Matt from Matt's Backyard Barbecue, and everybody was talking about this contest up in Canada. And so I did some research after I left that contest and saw that it was about a 10-hour drive from us, and we were already on the fence about doing it, so we decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and signed up for that contest. It's in Quebec. It's held in Quebec City, Canada, and it's hosted by a Canadian team, What the Pork. Some of you guys may have heard of them. They were, I believe, they were at the KCBS Invitational last year, and they're two wonderful guys, Josh and Alex. They were the organizers of this contest in Canada, and so of course they weren't competing, but they did an excellent job of putting together a contest. But anyway, my wife and I, we decided we were going to do it this year, and we left last Wednesday. It's about a 10-hour drive, driving time for us where we're located, and once we hit the Canadian border, we had about 2 hours to go to get to where the contest was. So it was about 2 hours further from the Canadian border for us to get there. So we went up there, and not knowing what to expect, it was a challenge because we heard all kinds of rumors. We wasn't sure. We were taking our own meats with us to the contest, and one of the things we had heard, the big thing was with the chicken, the poultry. But the ban had been lifted. There was a ban up until March of earlier this year where you couldn't bring chicken in. I guess because of these with the avian bird flu, these different things like that. But I did some research online, found out that it was lifted in March, so you're able to bring your meats. We took our own meats. I think we were allowed you're allowed 42 pounds per person.
42
so we
pounds
were
of meat.
So it ended up being about 84 pounds between the two of us.
Okay.
And I believe it or not, I pushed it right to that limit because at the time I took my brisket and all my pork butts and the other thing was you can't all of your meats have to be packaged. You can't open the packaging. It has to say packaged in the U.S. and so I made plans to do all my trimming on site when I got there, but when I got there, I had about 4 butts, 4 or 5 slabs of ribs, and all my chicken and my brisket, damn 20 pounds or what have you. So we were pushing right up against the limit. I tell you, I was nervous all the way up there, just wondering what was going to happen. Because I've heard horror stories of how people have gotten to the border and they wouldn't pass some of the meats through, inspection, and they would, get it tossed out and what have you. And the last thing I wanted to see was a, $200-something Wagyu brisket going into a trash can, at the border. And then what was I going to do? But lo and behold, we get to the border, and it was the easiest process ever. We weren't one of those that they wanted to question. They didn't want to inspect or go into my trailer. They didn't want to look in the car. I just pulled up to the window, showed them my ID, with a passport, and they paid, a couple questions, and they passed us on through. So all of that worrying for nothing about the meats at the border, and we made it in okay. And I think it was like a sigh of relief when we hit that point. So, well, for myself anyway, because the whole time up, it's in the back of my mind.
So you clear it. You're into Canada. Everything is good. And once you make that, you're like, whew. And then you go cook, right? And win it all. I mean,
that's it. So we got there Thursday. Got there a little early. I had made arrangements with the organizers, told them we were coming over earlier, and they made arrangements for us to, drop the trailer, and we stayed in a nice little boutique hotel that night, and just relax, just try to take it easy. I like to get there early, and and try to get set up and just relax when I can, because it's not something I do a lot. A lot of times I'm pulling on midday Friday or but something like this, I just like to get there a little early and just just get loose a little bit. And that's what we did.
Hotel is not your cook trailer, right?
I'm sorry.
I said a boutique hotel is not your cook trailer, right?
No. that was Friday night. That's the night of the contest.
I mean, the things we call boutique hotels these days, you never know. You never know.
You got that right. We've had some experiences with those, but yeah, no. So Thursday night we stayed in a hotel. I just wanted to get a good night's rest, after a 10-hour drive, it's rough.
I mean, you got the drive in, you got the stress of everything else, getting into Canada and with the meat and everything else. I mean, not knowing, that's got to be. So if you're wanting to go to Canada next year or any other town, if there's any more contests out there in Canada, but if there is, I mean, hey, look, don't be afraid. Call Sid. He can tell you. He can help you out, get you going,
Yeah.
and make that happen. Let's see what's going on. I mean, I talked to a guy today in Hawaii, from Hawaii. I'm gonna have him on the next couple of weeks, pushing his Hawaii contest. He's got a contest in Hawaii going out.
Yeah, I saw that in
Um,
November, right? I believe that's in
yeah, I
November.
think
Yeah.
it's the week before, either 1 week or 2 weeks before my contest.
Yeah, yes, right.
So, I was just like, I mean, the funny thing is, I think all of our wives are into letting us cook barbecue if we can go to Hawaii. I don't know what it is. Everyone like, hey, let's go to Hawaii. I'm like,
That's
babe,
it.
I don't know about that. I mean, but no,
Yeah, my
y'all.
wife just mentioned Puerto Rico. She said, I think they have a contest in Puerto Rico. I was like, but I don't know if they have any drums over there that I can cook. I need to find some cookers to get there. So,
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a good question. Carrie wants to know: does this win get you into the international draw next year for the Jack?
no, actually, what happens, Carrie? By us win. Okay, I guess we didn't get to that part, but by us winning Grand Championship, it actually gives me a bong in the U.S. For my home state. For the, if we're talking about the Jack draw, and then the highest ranking Canadian team, which in this case ended up being the reserve grand champion, they get a draw to represent Canada. And from what I understand, Canada only gets 3 teams into the Jack.
How many
Well,
contests are in Canada?
I'm not sure. That I'm not sure, Brian. But from what I understand, they get 3 teams. They get they get 3 draws. From so I guess 3 different contests they'll pick, and those are the ones, the top 3, and they'll draw from those 3 to decide who gets to go. That's my understanding. But they get that. So the RGC, the highest ranking team at this contest, does get a draw for the Jack, and we actually earned a bung, a draw, a bung for our home state, for the state of Maryland. So, and that'll be, of course, it was 1 week, or actually, it was a matter of days after the drawing for this one. So,
Right. Yeah.
So this will be for 2024.
There you go. Get back out there in 2024. Man, get back down there to the Jack and see if you can win it this
I'm
time.
going to try. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I tell you.
That's awesome. So congratulations on the big win in Canada. So what was it like coming back across the border?
That's interesting as well, because we heard horror stories about coming back as well. So I gave all of my meats and the trimmings I gave to the guys there in Canada. I was like, here, y'all take them, make breakfast with them. The meat that didn't make it into the box for the contest, I gave it out to the workers, the volunteers who were working with the festival. I was like, here, we can't take this home. You guys take it, enjoy it. So we didn't come back with any meat. But my big concern coming back was what we would have to declare, to come back across the border, because part of our prize for Grand Championship, not only did we get Canadian dollars, but we also were awarded with a Broil King pellet smoker.
Okay.
Which I believe was valued at probably $1,500-$1,500. But I'm sitting here worried coming back, to the American border, wondering am I going to have to pay some duty tax, on this $1,500 smoker. So I put it in the back of the trailer, and I think I took a cover off of one of my drums and threw it over it, and said hopefully nobody will want to come in and inspect the trailer or inspect the truck. And we pulled up to U.S. Customs, and they asked, we're coming back, what were we doing there, what have you. And I swear we were through U.S. Customs within about 45 seconds. They didn't want to, I don't know if it's because it was late. It was probably about 8 o'clock, so when we were coming through, it was 2 young guys. I think they were more interested in just talking barbecue real quick. And they didn't want to inspect we didn't get pulled over to get inspected. They didn't want to check the truck. They didn't want to check the trailer. So we made it back with the smoker still in the box with the straps around it. And, I had a pocket full of Canadian dollars that I still have to get to the bank and get exchanged. So I'll figure that out this week as well. So it was a fun trip. Like I said, it was just an experience for us, and I think we got a kick out of it, just going through all of this and having to deal with the logistics of these things. And one of the things that helped us, the week prior, we competed at a competition in Pennsylvania, in New Freedom, Pennsylvania, called Smoke on the Rail. And one of the teams there was from Canada. It was Cyclone BBQ, and they're pretty good. They came down for this contest in Pennsylvania. So I went over and introduced myself to them and say, hey, we'll be up your way next week. And he told me all that he had to go through, you know, when he comes through the border to come down to the U.S., because apparently they've cooked a few U.S. contests, and they may have been at the Jack or the Royal last year. I'm not sure, but so they were good to talk to and get information before we went, you know, this past weekend. So we were prepared. So it was, you know, I told my wife, we're just going to go have fun. You know, we're going to try to win this thing. I don't know what we're up against. It was it was 33 teams. I do know I think it was 4 or 5 of us were you know, 4 or 5 U.S. teams. Matt's Backyard Barbecue. I think they're from Massachusetts. El Jefe Barbecue. And Bill Gillespie and Jared from Insane Swine and Bill Gillespie from Smoking Hogs, they combined and created a team called Low Hanging Fruit, and they were there as well. So a lot of those Northeast teams, apparently it's a regular thing for some of them to go to you know, across the border, because it's a lot closer for them to get there. Like I said, it's a 10-hour drive. Well, it was a 10-hour drive for this contest, but it's at least 8 hours for me just to get to the border. And but for them, it's a little closer up there in Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, up in that area. So yeah, so you know, they you know, just talking to them and talking to everybody, we just had a ball. One thing that hit me was the language barrier. A lot of the teams, part of Canada, they speak English. The other part, they speak French. So it was a lot of French speaking teams, and going to the award ceremony, you know, hearing everything in French. I'm just waiting to hear "goo googly goo" because I didn't know what they were saying.
I think we're on chicken, but I don't know.
I forget the word for chicken that they had, but I got it on the trophies. But yeah, it was fun.
Second, everybody, don't worry. We'll get into chicken in just a second, everybody. I know it's coming. He knows. We all know it's coming. Wes Garrett had a good question. Shockingly enough, the old stinker had a good question. I know. Surprising. He said, "What are most Canadians cooking on? What was their type of smoker of choice up there?"
But believe it or not, I saw some drum smokers. I saw a good deal of pellet cookers up there that they were cooking on. So and apparently some of the American brands, you know, they have Canadian ambassadors and what have you. Because I saw some Yoder smokers up there. I believe I think there was one guy had a RegTech, but just from what I saw, you know, so it was a variety of smokers. The guys next to us, they had drum smokers. You know, some of them were homemade drums, you know, drum smokers. But then there were others who had their trailer smokers that they towed in, you know, pulled in and what have you. So it was a variety of the 33 teams. So Wes, I mean, it was a big variety.
That's right. And did you say what you cook on? I don't remember if I
oh yeah, I cook on Gateway drum smokers. I've got 4 smokers that go with 4 drums. They go with me every contest in the back of my little trailer. And I've been cooking on those for about 3 or 4 years now.
Awesome. And if anybody's gonna be looking for a new Gateway drums, hit me up at the Royal. I'm gonna have 4 of them that I don't want to bring back. So if you want a used drum that's been cooked on once, twice for a double or whatever, hit me up. I'll give you a good deal. All right. So is there anything else that you want to talk about your last win?
No, it was good to get that one in, Brian. You know, we've been, I think last year we went the entire year, didn't get a grand championship. I mean, we were close. We had a few RGCs, including the RGC at the Jack, but we didn't get didn't get a grand championship in. It looked like we were hitting a drought this year. So this was we've gotten RGCs this year, but up in Connecticut. But this GC, it really I felt like it got something off my shoulder because I've been going different places, and it's been crazy. You know, judging, you know, and things, you know, like with the J Cup, which I've told people it's going to get worse before it gets better, I believe. But I think it's for the better what they're doing and trying to you know, bring put everybody on the same page. But it's crazy when you go certain places, and I mean, just to give you an example, and I think this is just totally different, but we won the grand championship this past weekend with a 675, a score of a 675. And I couldn't believe that. And just to give you an idea, the reserve grand champion had a 666. And I've never seen the top two spots with scores that low. It was very interesting. But I think I heard someone else say some of the international contests they tend to have be a little low like that. Why, I don't know, because when you think about it with the KCBS sanctioning, everybody, you would think the judging would be the same across the board, right? Well, we know it's not like that. Just even here in the country, it can vary pretty big, but yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting. When I looked at my score sheet,
You're
I
like
mean,
75, and I just lapped the field by 10. What in the world? This is awesome.
I didn't say that, Brian. You said it.
I said it. I'm saying it. I mean, like, my gosh. I mean, good job, everybody else out there. Everybody else is looking at, man, I got a 675. Oof, that's pretty bad. No, wait, I got a grand, and not only did I grand, I smoked the next dude, which I'm sure the next dude had a great cook, and they're great at everything. I don't know who it is. I'm sorry. But that's awesome. It's awesome to see. I mean, and you know what? I'm about to make up people upset. Whatever the score, it does. If the scores are low, the scores are low. If the scores are high, the scores are high. You're still going to win, right? I mean, like, you're still beating that team. Doesn't matter if it's low score, high score, and whatever. You still have the highest score on that day, and you still won, right? And your food's good and everything else. So that's awesome. What did you do in chicken up there in Canada?
So we did get a third place chicken call I think it was with a 169, I believe. Third place chicken. And we were first on our table. We were first on our table in chicken, ribs, and pork.
I mean, with that low of a score for you, third. They call your name a third. You're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I win these things. Third place for me in chicken. I don't know.
Yeah, third in chicken. Then I forget barbecue by Drew or something like that. He won first in chicken. So they have some good cooks up there. That's why I tell people don't sleep on those guys up in Canada. They might not get a chance to cook as often as we do, maybe. But I do see some of them. They do come across the border to cook here in the U.S. But good barbecue is good barbecue, and that's why I told my wife, we can just go up there and cook our cook. Hopefully it'll be what the judges like. We know certain things are subjective, but let's just do what we do. And we stuck to our plan, stuck to what we normally do. I may have snuck in a little more maple syrup or something in there, since we were in Canada. I was like, hey, but you never know where the judges are from,
Hey. I like that. Yeah.
It was interesting. I didn't take my butter. The butter that I usually use, I didn't take that. So I got there and I had to go to Walmart and find some butter. And I found a grass-fed butter. I can't Gailey or something. I can't forget the name, but I tasted the butter. I loved it. And I also had some one of the American teams, Matt from Matt's Backyard Barbecue. He gave me some Kerrygold. And I sat back and I went back and forth with those two butters. I was like, but I'm in Canada, maybe they might be used to this butter, but it was a pretty good butter. And but pretty much I stuck to my guns. I stuck to what I could.
Are we gonna make a switch now to the new butter?
No, well, it's a Canadian butter. I believe it's only available in Canada. So I probably would have had to get a couple cases or something and bring it back across the
next
border.
year. Next year,
right? Yeah, but
awesome. All right, so you are the chicken king. You're killing it in chicken. Jordan Kirkpatrick says that nobody can catch you in chicken. Blah 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 blah. I'm not putting that on you.
Well, Colorado Bulldog is 200 points behind, so I see him in the rearview mirror. So it's a couple guys back there.
He's not there. What's up, Todd? How you doing? Thanks for saying hey. I never get hellos from the audience. My guests always get audience. So thank you, Todd, for recognizing me. That's awesome. I mean, I'm just the guy here. Anyway, if it works, barbecue teams will find out how to get it. Yeah, don't keep that Canadian butter to yourself, Sid. That might be the hottest selling thing.
I may would try it if I could get it down here in the U.S. It was a pretty good butter.
Pretty good butter. All right, so what do you cook? You cook thighs, legs, wings. Bread?
I do cook thighs. I've never in a barbecue competition. I'll put it out there. I've never cooked legs. I've just stuck to thighs as much as I hate trimming thighs and preparing thighs. It's what works for me, and until something pushes me in another direction, I'm going to stick with thighs.
That's awesome. Are you on the wing and thigh bandwagon, or are you just sticking with thighs?
When I do those thighs, it's so much work to me. And my wife says, "You think you're Picasso or something? The way you're trimming those thighs or whatever." I put so much time in. I really don't have time to deal with much more. Dealing with wings or whatever. But I may try it. It seems like a lot of people are going in that direction. But I think thighs will be my primary. I'm going to ride. What they say, stick with the one you brought to the dance, right? Or the one that got you there, right?
This is a relief to me. I'm getting here because I don't cook very much, and I'm like, man, all I cook is thighs. Oh, like I'm getting left behind because all these guys makes me feel a little bit better that I don't have to cook all this extra meat. I can't Sid. I can't even figure out how to cook a thigh, much less a thigh and wing and everything else. So
Right,
look, I'm just going to see if I can't stick with these thighs and just roll with it like the best.
Yeah.
So,
but we're seeing a lot of people just turning in just wings,
wings.
straight wings, and I mean, I can cook wings, but I'm sticking with what's been working for me, and will we see a shift? I mean, I thought there was a big shift, going with the legs in one time, and then I said, well, maybe it's a regional thing or whatever. But I'm seeing both. No matter where you go, you're seeing both, and you're seeing both win.
It's interesting. I by zero means am I taking credit. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
My boy, oh my gosh, Sterling Smith came on the show, and he's been pushing wings for a long time. But man, we did that show about wings, and after that show, I feel like a lot of people were like, you know what, I think I might try it. Anybody that was on the fence when we did that chicken conversation, heck, whenever, the beginning of the year or whatever that was, a lot of interest in the wings, and ever since then, I've seen a lot of wing boxes coming out there and different things happening. So it's pretty cool to see. Love seeing new things happening in barbecue, but I feel like it always gets back to the basics. I mean, you see a lot of the I like me some, Jordan Kirkpatrick likes thighs too. And pork, you saw a lot of things going to the only money muscles, and now I feel like you're seeing a turn back to money muscles and something. I don't know what that something is, but it seems like you're seeing a turn back to at least two different cuts in there.
Right.
But I don't know. So back to chicken, because that's what you want to talk about. And that's what you're so good at. And not that you're not good at anything else, but you were lapping the field right now on chicken. So what is it about chicken that you are just that has been hitting for you this year? I don't want to say what makes you so good at it. I don't want all of your secrets or any of your secrets.
Brian, it's interesting because I tell people I'm not doing much different than what a lot of these guys are teaching in these classes. I mean, people say, well, can you teach a class? Can you do this? Everything I do, I learned it from someone else, right? So, I've taken the hot and fast class, so I know I was taught what Tim and Brad do with their chicken, right? I've taken a Porkalypse class. I've taken Luke Darnell's class, Old Virginia Smokes class. So, I mean, a lot of I look at the videos on the barbecue league for the chicken. It's the same stuff. As far as the cooking technique, I may change a rub or a sauce or something like that, but the technique, as far as getting that tenderness and what have you, I'm not doing anything different than what a lot of these other guys are doing. So it's just
yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, apparently you are, because you're. I mean, there's a lot, like you say, there's a lot of people that are barbecue. Oh my gosh, barbecue league subscribers. I am. We support that also. I mean, we're fans of it and we love it.
I'm part of it as well. Yeah, I love it.
And it's interesting that there's a lot of people doing it, but a lot look me. I try to do it and I can't do it. I can't score. I can't do it right. So there's something that you're doing that is not the same as just taking a class. You've got something figured out, which is good for you. And that's awesome. But it sounds like you took the hot and class fasts, the class, and then you took other classes that I'm sure you've incorporated little bits here, a little bit there to make it your own, to where it's your own process.
Well, that's true. My entire cook process is like a potpourri of different, different teachings. I mean, when I first got into competition barbecue, I studied. I went to YouTube University, right? So I would Google. I mean, I was a big fan of Malcolm Reed, or Harry Sue, the folk, Sylvie Curry. These were people that I would watch their videos religiously in YouTube University, and I would study them. To this day, there are little things that that I take from those videos back to those early days, and you incorporate little things, and you hear people say, and it may sound cliches, but if you go take a barbecue class, and you take one little thing from that class, I've taken things. I'm very observant. I listen and I look for things, because sometimes there's stuff behind what you see that you can pick up on. Somebody might not say something in the video or whatever, or in a class or an interview. I listen to podcasts. You hear people being interviewed, and sometimes you just gotta listen, and then you just take it to the draw. Let it hit the road, and do a little practicing, and it just you make it your own. You make it your own. And my trimming process, it's very methodical now, but I hate it because of the amount of time I take.
Do you use a scale?
I don't use a scale. I don't trim. I don't. What do you call it with the skin? I don't cut the fat, do all that. What do you call it? Scrape. I don't scrape the skins. I don't do any of that. But I'm cooking hot and fast on drums, and I do think that that's a big part of it. Those gateway drums, regardless of what people may say, they give it a nice backyard chicken flavor. If you know what you do, if you got to know what you're doing with those drums. But if you can manage them properly, and you get a good drum backyard barbecue taste in that chicken, it's almost like the grill effect. People, regardless of what we say about competition barbecue, everybody grew up tasting chicken off of a grill in the backyard at a cookout or barbecue or what have you. So I think that drum really helps with the chicken, and I believe that to the point where I've seen a lot of people get to the point where they bought a drum just to cook their chicken. You'll see some competition teams will show up. They'll have that one drum there, and it's just for the chicken.
See it. Not that you can't cook on a offset, but a lot of people with offsets have a drum and they cook chicken on it. It seems like, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see a lot of.
I've seen it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's exactly what I'm saying. So it may be something with the drums, and got to give the accolades to I give it to Gateway Drum Smoker, because that's what I use.
Great job.
Yeah, Tim sold me on those drums a few years ago. He came to DC to a contest, and I bought one. I tried it, and next thing I know, I was flying to Missouri to take the class out there, and I haven't turned my back yet. On Gateway, so and they're real good folk as well. So I really attribute the drum smoker to part of my success with my chicken. But then, like I said, there's also the barbecue league. You're studying those videos. There's the hot and fast class. And, like I said, I just found a way to make my own little method for preparing this chicken.
Yeah, I have a friend, Mark Weatherall, My Jane Barbecue. He's here, local guy, one of our buddies.
Oh, I know Mark.
He's like, man, he goes, I always take notes. He goes, I take notes, listening to this show. I'll watch another show. He goes, and he doesn't talk much. He doesn't comment much. But he's taking notes and he's listening. And that's what it takes, man. If you get a little nugget here or there, it's awesome. But hey, there's been questions I'm going to ask, and I'm not going to ask the question they want me to ask. I'm going to ask it my way, so I don't, whatever. Do you cook to a temperature, or are you just cooking straight up time?
It believe it or not, and I hate to say it because I feel like I'm off the path a little bit, going against the grain, but I don't cook to a temperature. I don't, and I'll be honest, I don't know what my chicken temperature is when I pull that chicken, and I think sometimes it does bite me in the tail. I'll admit, because and I'll be honest, for the longest time I wasn't even tasting my chicken when I pulled it off. It just became very methodical, and I just felt that it was there. I could tell by my swings, if there were any swings in my temperatures and cooking and what have you. Did I make adjustments along the way? But it just got to the point where it became very methodical. And I say that not to say that people should try to do that, because I'm sure it'll catch up to me sometime. But it's just.
Does the chicken talk to you? Does the chicken talk to you?
The chicken whisperer. No. I pull it off, and I look at it. Uh, Sometimes I look at it, and I can look at the skin. I can say, well, uh-oh, you have a few of them in there with the skin. You blew up the skin. But there was a great barbecue instructor of mine. He told me, if your food looks too good, it's probably not cooked. So sometimes when I pull the chicken off, I like to see it. It should look a little nasty in there, like somebody threw a bomb in there sometimes. But
There you
it's
go. There you go, people.
see, Brian, you're good because you're getting me talking, and now I'm putting out little nuggets here. So I hope this doesn't come back to bite me.
I don't know what just happened. I'm just sitting here talking, just listening right now, just having a great time. Uh, no, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. So what?
But like I said, I'm on a drum now. What guys may do on an offset cooker, a pellet cooker, a water cooker. I don't cook on those for competition. I don't.
Yeah.
So take it with a grain of salt.
What's a good flavor profile for chicken?
Well,
I don't need product. I don't need rub.
No. Well, it's funny because my wife and I we go back and forth on this because sometimes I get in my head that maybe I need to make an adjustment here because we're cooking here or we're cooking there, and I was like, oh, maybe we need to put a little heat on it or something like that, whatever. And sometimes I find just you hear everybody say it, just good middle of the road chicken, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of heat. I like to give them a little bit of heat, because I'm always you're thinking that something may have thrown off their palate before they taste my chicken. And I want mine to come through with a statement. So I do try to make up a statement with my chicken when they taste it, but I'm not trying to be offensive with that heat, So I mean, I'm not trying to blow out their palate or anything, but I want a little heat, but I want the sweet, I want that savory. But I want my chicken to taste like chicken. I don't want it to taste like a bunch of sauce. The sauce, as we say, should complement the protein. And I think that may be where some people may be going astray when they get in and they put all that sauce on it, and it no longer tastes like chicken. It just tastes like a piece of competition barbecue meat. So yeah. I just I'm not saying old school or anything. I just stick to trying to keep it tasting like chicken with a little bit of some good barbecue hints of barbecue flavor.
Yeah. I always say this. I mean, and tell me if you agree with this. The best thing you can do before every contest is go to Atlanta Barbecue Store, order fresh products, and use fresh products from Atlanta Barbecue Store every time you cook. That's your your nugget of truth tonight, right?
Well, I'll tell you, Brian. I for a minute I got caught up. I would, a lot of my sauces and things. I would go out and buy the big gallon jugs, and they're good if you're doing enough comps where you're using it fast enough to do it. But I realized that sometimes for me it became better to maybe get a half a gallon, or a pint, depending on how frequently I'm using something, because I don't want my stuff sitting too long. And I know barbecue sauce can
brand new stuff every time.
I want fresh stuff. I want those. I want to crack those herbs open. With the rubs. I want to crack them, and I know barbecue sauce can sit on the shelf. I mean, after it's been open, you can keep a bottle for a year. You can keep it for a half a year and still be good. But it's in my mind that I just have to have, and I'm not just saying this for the Atlanta barbecue. It's a mental thing. I feel like I have to have some fresh product, and I think I've lost contests or lost in some categories because I may have used a rub that was left over from last year, or something like that. And I'll sprinkle a little bit in my hand and may taste it, and it still tastes the same, but it's not. It doesn't have that potency or the. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same It's just not the way the producer of that product intended for it to be at that point. It's nothing like cracking open a fresh bottle.
I mean, I'm just saying. I've said it all along. I mean, I've always said you need to have fresh stuff when you go. I mean, that's just my take. And I joke. I'm joking, right? But I'm not at the same time. I'm like, for me, I'm fortunate enough to where I can just go get stuff. But I've got to where instead of using the big jars, I'm using the smaller jars. Same thing, right? Like that way, I'm not everything I got is relatively fresh. I mean, I don't cook a lot, so like we're going to the Royal. I've already told Ellen, I was like, everything I'm giving away, I'll give away everything I could. It'll all be brand new. I'm gonna give it away so I don't have to bring it
I'm
home.
going to come raid the trailer
You
afterwards.
got it. You got it. Come on. But that's, I mean, this is the same thing. It's like just
Mhm.
cook new stuff,
Right.
and I am joking, but there is some truth to it. Like, and I'm glad you said that.
Mhm.
But and it's got to come from the Atlanta barbecue store, of course, because
That's right. That's right.
we're the,
And one thing, I mean, that I've gotten to the point now where I will order my product, every week or every other week versus trying to stockpile it. There would be a time where I get 4 or 5 bottles, half
right.
gallons or something and stuff. And I still will, if I can get get a good deal or something, a sale or something comes along. But I for some reason, I just have this superstition where I just have to order my stuff kind of as I go along. I've got a double
Especially
coming up.
chicken,
I'm
especially
sorry.
chicken, especially chicken.
Especially
Yeah.
chicken. That's right. That's right. Yeah, you want that fresh stuff. But like we've done what 3 contests. We just did a double, then we did Canada, and then get ready to do a double this coming weekend. So I kind of had to, logistics comes into this stuff, trying to bring this stuff in, and you know, the, my wife gets on me because I'll have big boxes coming in, and then now I got to find out where I'm gonna hide the box, hide these boxes. It's bad enough when the big black brisket box shows up at the door. You got those are sitting up there, and then you got these brown boxes coming in of supplies. And didn't you just order something last week? Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, hey, we try to take care of you. Anyway,
Mhm.
I got a trailer you can hide them in. That's awesome. Uh, Joseph, you're the man. All right, so what's going on the rest of the year for you?
Oh well, after this coming weekend, we're competing in Ashland, Virginia, not too far from Richmond, Virginia. So that's about a 2-hour drive for us, not too far, and we're looking forward to that one because it's a double. It's at a campground. It's about 28 teams. It's a pretty strong field, so we're looking forward to it. Get to see a lot of our good friends from up and down the East Coast, the Mid Atlantic. So we're looking forward to that one. And then after that, as of right now, we have a break for about a month. But I say as of right now because
Okay.
we start getting we start jonesing for another contest, and next thing you know, 2 or 3 weeks we're signing up for something. So, but I
Next thing
told
you
him we're
know,
going to
Colorado, Levi's he's gonna be right on your tail, and you're gonna be like,
right
oh crap, we gotta go.
You got that right. Yeah, so we're trying to take a break for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'm going to head to in September. We're going to the Honor Q salute. I forget the name of it, but Smoking Ghost. Paul Bob. He's
Yep.
actually putting together a contest up here in Yorkville, Illinois. So we're signed up for that one, and then since we're headed that way anyway, in about 2 weeks after that, headed to the Royal. We're going to try to do the one in Murfreesboro
Okay.
the following week after Yorkville, and then we'll do we're definitely going to the American Royal, and then in American Royal, I believe there's Pusaq, and after Pusaq, we've got one up here in Maryland that I think we just signed up for. We don't have many contests in Maryland.
Right.
I think this year we'll probably only have one. Um, so I think I'm going to come back from Pusaq and do that one, and we were looking at the one in was it Pine Bluff, Arkansas, but
Mhm.
I think there's conflict with some dates there. But that's pretty much going to bring us home for that season. And of course, in November leading up to Thanksgiving, we're headed back to Atlanta for the ABS Classic.
Yes, gonna be a blast. I
The
can't wait.
ABS. This will be my first time there. We're looking forward to it.
Oh man,
I love Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta from '85 to '91. So I
okay.
still, I got a lot of friends and family down there, and so I love to get back down there. So
Well,
we're looking forward to that.
we will make sure that you are welcomed and all your friends are welcome. Bring them all. We got live music this year. We got
Oh
vendors. People
wow,
are signing up like crazy right now. It's awesome.
yeah,
If you want to sponsor the thing, I'm talking to everybody else. If you want to sponsor, go on the website and get and see if you want to sponsor. I mean, we're hoping that we can have a great contest, give a lot of money back to Mills by Grace. They're an incredible organization, what they do. So you'll hear more about that later, but just we're trying to give back to the community as much as we can, and
that's
and
awesome. That's
barbecue is
awesome.
a great way to do it. Um, yeah, Brian Payton, he's coming. Um, Brian Payton, he's our reigning champion.
Oh, is that right?
I'm thinking about calling the ABS Classic a world championship.
Oh,
You know, I mean, we might as well just go ahead and have a world championship. And Wes Garrett is hounding me. We're going to do it. We're just going to start calling that thing a world championship and see if it sticks. You know
Hey,
what?
see if it's the. But you know, Brian, one of the things I like about competition barbecue, and I should have hit on it earlier, we love meeting good people like yourself. You know, I know Brian Payton, I know Wes, I know Kirkpatrick. You know, I wouldn't have met these guys if it wasn't for competition barbecue. And not only that, but if we just stayed, just stayed in our area, just stayed in the Mid Atlantic.
Yeah.
I love getting out of the area. We said next year that's going to be one of our goals is to just get out and try to do contests that we, you know, away from here, but across the country. Even if I had to, pull one of those we call it Brad's numbers and jump on some planes and travel. You know, we started this year off. We had never done Florida. We did 3 contests in Florida, January and February. And that was just part of us just wanting to get out and do different contests and experience other towns and cities. But everybody says it, but we just love the people that we meet. You know, a lot of your follow Kerry Chastain, your followers here on the show. You know, I'll see Kerry this coming weekend. So but he's one of the first. You know, I have people they call or text me or what have you. They congratulate you when you win, no matter where they are. You know, it's just an awesome feeling. So we just want to get out and explore more. You know, I would love to get out west some and compete in some of those contests. I'm not saying that we can make any noise out there, but I'd love to go to Kansas, or Missouri, Oklahoma, some of these other contests. And it's a long haul, but we're beginning to enjoy some of that windshield time. And next year, Lord willing, I'll be retiring from my day job, so I have a little more time. So it's part of my plan.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, I'm telling you, that's one thing. What I love about the Royal is I get to see so many people that I don't get to see very often. And and I tell this to everybody, be like, why do you like barbecue competition so much? What is it about competition barbecue that you like? I'm like, it's the people. I mean, yeah, I love the competition. Yes, I love it. I love the going out there, doing your best, winning, and all that kind of stuff. That's awesome. But I mean, there's something to just going out, hanging out with people that you don't get to see all the time from around the country, and you all have this common thing, and it's such a family. I mean, it's such a family atmosphere that you go out there, and it's just good people, right? Like you're just trying to go out and there's nothing like meeting new people and hanging out. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to meet some of the greatest people in barbecue and sponsoring a lot of these great teams. And I always say we have great teams, but they're better people. If that's our goal. Like we want people to support us that are good people, and we've been blessed, and I appreciate it from each and every person out there. Our customers are awesome. I love this show. I love all the people that watch. And I mean, I was talking to the guy from Hawaii today, and I was like, he's like, "What is it about your show?" I was like, "Man, the thing that makes my show is the comments and the people being part of it, and what makes it happen. That's what makes this show run, and I love it." So thank you all for watching the show. And I know that show that's coming on after this. We are the headliner tonight. We get that. Chewin the BBQ Fat is the headliner, and then we got another barbecue show coming on TV. For the rest of the whole world that's going to be watching it. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a good show tonight. So make sure you tune in, guys. Support barbecue. Support what we do. The ways you can support it is watching it and all that kind of good stuff. So, but anyway, so we are getting close to time for the show. I know a lot of people want to get ready to watch it. Sid, what else you got? How can people get in touch with you?
Well, we're all over social. Well, I guess as my wife say, I'm all over social media, Facebook, Instagram at Good Googly Goo Barbecue. A lot of people ask how you spell it. It's right there at the bottom. Good Googly Goo Barbecue, and Instagram, Facebook. I still have a Twitter. I don't use it much, but haven't gotten into the TikTok thing yet. But I've got a spot, but. I'm looking at to hang out there. You may see a YouTube channel popping up soon, but
nice.
As I get a little more time. But yeah, you can find me there. Any of the Royal Oak charcoal stuff, those guys are in my corner. Blues Hog, Gateway Drum Smokers. We got a lot of folk that we partner with or help us make this thing possible. For Good Googly Goo Barbecue. Relax Float Spa up in Pennsylvania. You guys looking for a spa, just drop my name up there and see what it gets you.
There you go.
And yeah, but like
And
I say,
also,
it's
and the best barbecue.
Atlanta barbecue store. Atlanta, I'm telling you, Brian, one thing I like you guys, the shipping is so fast. I was sitting there. Sometimes I've got a contest coming up this week, and we'll probably leave Friday morning. I said, well, if I get the order in this morning, Ellen or whoever does will probably get it out this afternoon, but it might be tomorrow. But it'll still get here, in time for the contest. So I like that. So when just to double back to when you talk about the freshness of the product, my stuff gets in and I crack it the next day.
Ellen does a great job. Ellen is awesome.
Wonderful job. Wonderful job.
But thank you so much. I can't wait. Hopefully you come hang out with us at the Chewin the BBQ Fat compound at the American Royal that we're going to have this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a great time. But shut up, Wes.
What's Wes talking about? I can't see the comments. Wes is a good friend of mine. He helped me out in the jam I was in a little while ago. He's a big Old Hickory guy.
Help somebody?
Well, he helped me out. I tell you.
Man, I tell you what, I've been talking to him about Old Hickories too, him and Trey Terry. I'm looking at trying to get me an Old Hickory. I want something for catering, or I don't even cater, really, just something where I can cook a lot of food. So I've been looking at these Old Hickories, and I tell you what, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on one. If anybody has any,
I tell you, I just picked up an Old Hickory CTO-DW, so it's part of my retirement plan next year. So, but I've got it, and Wes has been a good resource when it comes to Old Hickory. So,
man, oh gosh. Bill, you're the best. Thanks, man. Thought we're keeping on. Wes says you get some of that 87,000 sponsorship money makes it easy. Yeah. And then Bill says that's all you get. I mean, what the heck? Golly. I wish it was like that. I wish. Holy smokes. Y'all are worth way more than that, each and every one of you guys. But anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful night. Sid, thank you so much for all you
Thank you, Brian. No, I appreciate you, man.
Out there in Canada. Way to show off. Smoking the field with a 675.
675, baby.
Keep it up.
The little engine that could. That's what I told my wife.
Oh, I love it. Sounds great. Well, hold on for a second. We're going to get everybody going. But I tell you what, y'all have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week on Chewin the BBQ Fat. Have a good one, everybody.
Good night.